Sun in Virgo. Now, when I read Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers, now this book is all about success, the secret of success, how it is that success happens, what the most successful people tend to have in common. It's this exploration of this idea, and this book was a huge bestseller. I remember a few years back from the time that I'm recording this. And one of the chapters in this book is called 10,000 Hours. And basically what it states is that anything you do for 10,000 hours, you can consider yourself an expert at that task. 10,000 hours is sort of the golden number, the rule that is the crossing point between just being a novice at it or being interested in it or doing something well and actually having established a certain level of expertise. 10,000 hours. When I read that chapter, I just kept thinking of Virgo again and again, again and again, because that to me is exactly what this energy is about. It's about understanding the process of being good at something, the desire to be good at something, and then committing to that process. Even if that process changes or goes through some evolutions from time to time, still there is an understanding that in order to find a sense of self, in order to figure out who it is that you really are and where it is that you're really going to feel that you are at your absolute best, you're going to have to be really good at something. And it is in that journey that you find yourself. And so because there is this very, very deep understanding, the Virgo will have that level of patience is what it comes down to. They'll be able to actually give themselves to the task that is in front of them to do, especially if it is connected to where it is that they want to be recognized as good at something. Now, regardless of gender, the thing that I always think about with Virgo as Sun in Virgo is it's a very, like with the earth signs, the earth energy is a very goddess type of energy. And what that means, it's a very embodied energy. So it isn't energy that's living just from passion, that's living just in the mind, that's just going along with the flow of the emotions, but rather it's an energy that has an inner steadiness and an energy that has a deeper connection, a deeper motivation than just what's very immediate or very much on the surface. And because of that, that can give them a sort of a, like as I said, there's like a very goddessy, something almost divine about that, about being able to live fully in the moment and honoring the incarnation that makes something sort of elevated within this sign and within these types of people. Now, the lower end of this vibration is, you know, famously Virgos are said to be worrying, right? They worry. Now, what that happens because they don't have something constructive to give their attention to. So it's like the soul is looking for, like, where am I going to put my 10,000 hours? I got to find where my 10,000 hours are going to go. But when you haven't found that thing, that's when that energy starts to arise, that starts to turn in on itself. And so give yourself something to do. If you're a Virgo sun and you find yourself being one of the more worrying types of Virgos, give yourself something to do, and that will help you feel more centered in the immediacy. But especially if it's something that you genuinely want to do and you want to do well and want to do better than you've done before. That will give you a sense of centeredness from which you can grow and demonstrate qualities within yourself that you like, qualities within yourself that you can admire as well. I also find that Virgos can be really good academics. Like I have seen this again and again, like people who sort of commit to the academic process. And what that means is they do the research, like they really understand something really deeply and they do the research and they understand the different ways that people think about the different things. These people, it's because they're able to really analyze and dig deeply into a subject matter. And yes, it does come down to the 10,000 hours in a sense. You got to read those books. You got to make sure you're understanding what you're reading and not just read them on a surface level, but to read and decipher and to analyze and understand also takes time as well. And that's part of becoming an expert at it. But I find that these people, they have the mental capacity, but they also have, as I said, the patience to stay with the process. and the perception as well, because Mercury is the ruling planet of this sign. So they have that ability to perceive and to articulate that comes together really nicely for those who choose to pursue a life or a career path, even if just for a time as an academic. This sign also, as I said, this is very connected to me to expertise. And so it isn't just about like achieving that thing, right? It's never really, I think, about achieving something. What it is about is knowing you're in the journey, you're in the pathway to achieving something that matters to you, towards achieving something that you can be proud of. That's the invitation as part of this energy. There's also a very deep connection to body as well, a connection to what's happening on a level of body that can be really intricate and really subtle as well. In fact, they know, because they have that connection to themselves, like if they go to a doctor, and this is also part of the learning as well, if you go to the doctor and you tell them your symptoms and you get some advice, does it resonate as right with you? If you're given some medicine, does it feel right for you to take it? You've got to listen in, and like your body will lead you to what you need. You'll know if something's working with you or not, and you will be guided to your solutions. But there is such an intimate connection with what's happening on a level of body that they're able to have that recognition. Okay, this is advice that I can use. This is advice that's going to help me. This, maybe not so much. So a part of that comes about as they learn to trust themselves and trust what it is, the signals that their body is sending, that they're able to then trust themselves on even broader and broader levels as they are led towards figuring out the ebb and the flow of their 10,000 hours. So it isn't necessarily that their journey towards being good at something they can be proud of is a straight route, but it necessarily requires some experimentation. And as they come to learn more about themselves, that they can trust themselves, and that translates into their process towards bringing forward the absolute best of who they are. Well, thank you so much for watching this Synchronicity University video. Until we connect again, take care. Thank you for watching this lesson as part of Synchronicity University. You can go online at synchronicityuniversity.com or click on your screen if you're on YouTube right now to access even more video lessons, to access horoscopes, interviews with some of the most amazing astrologers in the world, and so much more.